Huyu anaweza kuwa dada yako, ndugu yako, mwanao au rafiki. Sema la kwa dhulma za kijinsia. Ripoti dhulma yoyote ya kijinsia kwa nambari ifuatayo: 1195, au unaweza pia ripoti katika kituo chochote cha polisi kilicho karibu na wewe. Kuwa shujaa, kuwa salama. Ujumbe huu umeletwa kwako na serikali ya Kenya.
A very good evening to you. This is KBC Channel 1. My name is Shiksha Arora. Welcome to Easy Friday, where I'll be telling you what's happening in the country and beyond. Of course, if you'd like to join us and talk to us on social media, please feel free to interact with us. The hashtag is Easy Friday at KBC Channel 1 at Shiksha Arora. Right, what do we have lined up for you? In the bulletin, we're going to be talking about what international observers think about the coming elections, of course, in August. Remember, there's a few concerns that the public has regarding the election process. So what do they say? Well, I'll be telling you about that. Apart from that, I also have Spotlight later on. Remember, sports as well, business news, all of that and much more. But for now, it's time for the highlights. Restoring confidence in elections. International election observers called for concerted efforts to avert election-related violence.
Jameni, watu wa Mwingi, si tuunde hii serikali pamoja? Na nikipanga hii serikali si nimuwekee nafasi ya Kalonzo Musyoka hapo, ndio tuweze kupanda pamoja.
Kenya Kwanza woos Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka to join them. And the Directorate of Criminal Investigations launched a manhunt for Dennis Karani Gashoki, the main suspect in the daylight murder of Samuel Mugo Muvota. Cool. Welcome to Easy Friday. Our sign language interpreter is Susan Thuku. My name is Shiksha Arora, and the top story tonight: international election observers have called for concerted efforts in building public trust in the electoral process in the run-up to the August polls in a bid to avert election-related violence. According to the International Republican Institute and the National Democratic Institute, Parliament's failure to approve limited campaign financing, increased use of hate speech on the campaign trail, and exploitation of the youth by the political class are among issues of concern that may undermine public confidence in the 2022 general election. Take a look.
With less than 3 months to the August general election, international election observers have raised concern over emerging trends in the current political environment that may undermine public trust in the electoral process. In a joint statement of their latest pre-election assessment to Kenya, the International Republican Institute and the National Democratic Institute said that delays by Parliament to address pending electoral law amendments create confusion and fears of attempts to manipulate the electoral process.
Electoral amendments that could affect the conduct of the elections remain pending within Parliament, creating confusion. Persistent distrust over the transmission and announcement of results also remains a concern. Parliament's failure to approve limits on campaign financing means the campaign-related expenditures will continue to play an outsized role during these elections.
Parliament should urgently address the issue of pending electoral law amendments, either expediting their review or stating that no further reforms would be entertained prior to the August polls, so as to remove the confusion and suspicion of attempts to manipulate the process.
The delegation also warned the political class against making utterances that may balkanize the country ahead of the election.
Hate speech inciting violence across the political spectrum remains a real concern as well. The lack of economic opportunity for young people makes them more susceptible to being exploited by political leaders to engage in violence.
Amidst the red flags, however, the IRI and NDI delegation also noted positive efforts that the country has put in place to conduct a more transparent, accountable and inclusive election.
The delegation notes positive efforts being made to conduct more transparent, accountable and inclusive elections in Kenya. These include the Election Commission's efforts to rebuild trust, assert its independence, and take actions to avoid past shortcomings. It also includes improvements in political party nomination processes, increased stakeholder engagement by the police, nomination of a female vice presidential candidate, and the judiciary's preparedness for legal challenges that may arise in the post-election environment.
The delegation made several recommendations to help build public confidence in the run-up to the August general election.
Religious leaders should use their voice and convene in power to ensure credible, peaceful, and transparent elections.
The international election observation organizations are expected to carry out a second pre-election assessment mission in late June 2022. For Easy Friday, I'm Safin Aching Oma.
Moving on in other news, Deputy President William Ruto and his allies have urged Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka to abandon any plans of regrouping with Raila Odinga and join the Kenya Kwanza alliance. Speaking in Machakos County, the DP said Kalonzo has endured enough political betrayal and should cross aisle and join his team.
Deputy President William Ruto was in Machakos County to rally the region behind the Kenya Kwanza alliance. The DP using the opportunity to once again woo Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka to the fold.
Munataka Kalonzo Musyoka aende aungane na mtu ya kitendawili ama akuje tufanye kazi na yeye? Na wauliza, munataka aende ngambo ile ama akuje Kenya Kwanza? Akuje Kenya Kwanza. Tuunde serikali pamoja. Ndio tutembee pamoja. Wale wanasema akuje Kenya Kwanza nione, wala wanasema akuje Kwanza.
Kalonzo bolted out of the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya alliance after he was overlooked by Raila Odinga in the hunt for a running mate.
Nasikia wameenda kumongelesha jana usiku. Wametuma Gideon Moi aenda mbembeleze. Na kwa sababu Kalonzo alionekana leo asubuhi akizunguka akijiongelesha, ameshikwa na roho. Anaweza danganywa Azimio. Kalonzo akirudi Azimio anarudi peke yake, si ndio? Wangapi wanasema akienda Azimio anaenda peke yake?
Na sisi Kalonzo ni mtoto yetu, na sisi ndio wenye Kalonzo, na sisi tuko na hasira. Mambo ya kuangaisha Kalonzo imefika mwisho yake.
Akuje kwa hii team. Akuje kwa hii team. Aache kuhadaiwa.
Na nikipanga hii serikali sinimuwekee nafasi ya Kalonzo Musyoka hapo. Ndio tuweze kupanda pamoja. Hebu nione wala wanasema tutatembea pamoja.
The Deputy President and his allies had urged an economic forum in Embu where they urged voters to reject the overtures of Raila Odinga and Martha Karua.
We want to have a conversation about ideas, about issues, about the people, about jobs, and about empowerment.
Sasa kama tungekuwa na sako yetu na fund tufandiwe kama mama mboga, kama vile kuna women fund, youth fund, ikuwe ya mama mboga.
Example ya Embu County, ile allocation imepatiwa mambo ya vijana, it is less than 0.5% budget. Sisi tunaomba kama vijana, hata tukipatiwa ministries in the counties, wacha iongezwe at least to the reducible minimum of 2%.
Arambe!
The Deputy President said if elected, his administration will work for the benefit of all Kenyans. Kamchemenza for Easy Friday.
Bottom!
Now, the Directorate of Criminal Investigations has issued a wanting warning for Dennis Karani Gashoki, who through their Twitter has been identified as the man, the main suspect behind the daylight murder of Samuel Mugo Muvota. Gashoki has been described as armed and dangerous. Members of the public have been asked to volunteer any information that may lead to the arrest and prosecution of the wanted man.
Detectives from the DCI are seeking information on one Dennis Karani Gashoki, who has been identified as skewed and working with rogue officers who tip him off when operations for his arrest have been launched. DCI recently discovered that the suspect had a fallout with his boss Muvota over sharing of proceeds from their Pishori trade and beautiful women who would first pay with their flesh before being enlisted in the mafia-style organization. Is attributed to the murder of Samuel Mugo Muvota, who left behind 7 widows and several children. The detectives have further unmasked some of the faces behind the Pishori administrators connected to the empire of slain Samuel Mugo Muvota. The women are said to be experts in stupefying rebels at popular joints and target middle-aged 2 older men who are suspected to have fat bank accounts. The death of Muvota has left them without a leader, and with their second in command at large, most of them have left for their rural homes. Bar owners have been advised to be on the lookout for suspicious women out to spike and suspecting revelers. You can reach the DCI on 0800-722-203. Yusufar reporting for Easy Friday.
Now, in matters Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha has directed all school principals and education officials to ensure that no student is sent back home for lack of school fees. Magoha is warning that stern measures will be taken against any principal thwarting government's efforts to achieve the 100% transition policy.
Form 1 students from less fortunate families in Kiandutu slums in Thika could not hide their joy after the Education Secretary Professor George Magoha accompanied them to get their admission to their respective schools. Magoha used the occasion to issue a stern warning to teachers about their 100% transition policy.
No teacher in this republic should send a child back home from a day school for any charge which is illegal. I've had reports, and I think we are going to take very firm action against some head teachers and principals who are still doing that against our national values.
Magoha announced that the government will kick off the phase 2 of the competency-based curriculum before the end of the month.
We intend to roll to the second lot by the end of this month. I'm going to ask all the contractors who have completed their work to ensure that their papers are in Jogo House so that we can pay them because the money is there.
In Kericho County, 267 needy students have benefited from the Elimu Scholarship Program offered by the Equity Bank.
When we took 267, the remainder number is so big. If other organizations came in, it would actually be of much help. Because as we speak now, quite a number of KCPE candidates are still home because they don't have finances.
In Mombasa County, Director of Education Peter Magiri has attributed the improvement of exam performance in the region to the ongoing reforms in the education sector.
So this year we want to put ourselves down, disciplined, obedient, attentive, and we shall surpass the performance of this school. In there, they are talking about we are breaking the record that was there 10 years ago. As a Form 4 this year, it is the record and geography that has never been done.
I want to express our appreciation.
In other news, President Uhuru Kenyatta has commissioned a new chancery in the Swiss capital of Bern to enhance trade ties between Kenya and Switzerland. Speaking during the event, the head of state said that the opening of the new chancery will invigorate the growing bilateral trade between Kenya and Switzerland by presenting opportunities for partnerships in trade, manufacturing, health, and tourism exchange.
There's a lot of areas I believe we can cooperate, from manufacturing to Kenya as a trade destination into Eastern and Sub-Saharan Africa. A lot of opportunities, I believe, that we have some companies already firmly established in Kenya and have been established for a long time. How can we work together to help these companies grow, taking advantage of the free trade area of the continent and using Kenya as a manufacturing base, creating jobs, exchanging expertise in many different areas. So I believe the potential is tremendous, and I think there is still a lot of work ahead of us. One of the things I've really been very happy to see is to see if we can increase our partnership, especially in the health sector. And also, I also recall that tourism, I saw some numbers there. We're talking about 9,000 tourists pre-COVID. But I can assure you that in the 70s, we used to do almost 130,000 tourists. So even the 9,000 that we're talking is a low figure in comparison to the potential. And that's again another area where we'd like to see, some work done.
More direct area.
Exactly.
So we have to fly through the third countries.
All right. Now, the Judiciary intends to establish service desks in 52 Huduma centers across the country to ease access to justice. Chief Justice Martha Koome, while leading the inaugural Judiciary National Day of Prayer and Fasting, called on the executive for adequate development budgetary support to build more courts and refurbish the courts' infrastructure.
Exactly a year since she ascended to office as Judiciary head, Chief Justice Martha Koome took stock of her performance. She appreciated successes in operationalization of the Judiciary Fund and establishment of a Judiciary Police Unit.
Another notable achievement that we wish to thank God for is the establishment of a Judiciary Police Unit with 3,000 police officers, which is key to securing our court infrastructure, our personnel, and court users.
Koome thanked the executive for the 1 billion shillings additional budgetary allocation to help ease the cash crunch affecting the judiciary.
I'm extremely grateful. We have received a small increase in our budgetary allocation of 1 billion shillings. I look forward to even more increased budgetary support going into the future, considering the enormous task of institutional building required in the judiciary.
The third arm of government will also roll out special sexual and gender-based violence courts across the country.
We have also to introduce special measures to ensure access to justice for vulnerable groups. In line with this goal, we established the Special Sexual and Gender-Based Violence Court in Mombasa, Chanzu.
Attorney General Kihara Kariuki stressed the need for all arms of government to work together to enable Kenyans enjoy their rights and enhance faith in the judicial system.
They call upon us to manifest piety and trustworthiness, resignation and submission to the will of God, and forbearance and kindliness, and uprightness and wisdom.
Leaders and members of the club present rallied Kenyans to prudently exercise their democratic rights while praying for peaceful elections.
We earnestly pray for unity among all Kenyans before, during, and after elections. Help us realize the greatness of our nation, that it lies in our mutual love and charity.
We pray for hope in our country, that this is the beginning of a journey that will bring peace. Set free, O Lord, the souls of your servants from all temptations.
Lord, may you make our future better than our past. Let no blood be shed in this country because of political competition.
That we pray that any bias will be replaced by fairness so that we can have a fair and credible process in the name of Jesus.
Similar prayers were conducted in court stations across the country.
And just like the Beatitudes reveal in Matthew chapter 5 verse 6, that happy are those who thirst and hunger for righteousness, they shall be filled. The Judiciary National Day for Prayer and Fasting provides a good opportunity for judges and judicial officers to reaffirm their oath of office and maintain the highest levels of integrity in discharging their constitutional mandate. For Easy Friday, I'm Ben Troy.
All right, and with that, it's time for us to take our first commercial break. We'll be back in just a moment. Remember, you can always interact with us. The hashtag is Easy Friday. Talk to us at KBC Channel 1, at Shiksha Arora on Twitter. Tell me where you're watching from. Let's take that break.
How are you, sir? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Where are we going?
All I do is win. I wake up, I win. I close my eyes, and I win.
We got an emergency, girlfriend.
I love my curves and the skin I'm in. Switch it up, turn it down, take it up again. Come on, let's all keep winning till the world stops spinning. Independent women, come on, now let's get it. I'ma keep winning till the world stops.
Wow, you look great. Did you just come from the salon?
Darling Abuja, braids that stay salon fresh no matter what.
Kupata lazima nishike kama skiza tune yako. Bonyeza *811 *962 hash.
Lazima nishike mapema. Nisiposhika hii simu mapema utakasirika. Unajua mimi nikiwa mtu ya marathon najua niko na experience kabisa. Experience. If you don't hurry, you will not break the record. Okay, wacha nishike hii simu.
Kupata lazima nishike, bonyeza *811 *962 hash. *811 *962 hash.
Peter kona Christine na anampenda sana.
Christine does not deserve my brother. She's not a wife. Ni career woman.
I attract a certain type of men. Can you be specific? They are broke. Ni walevi.
Nataka kuongea na mama Jane.
Mwambie atoke nje.
Wamunyota.
Jane, rudi nyumbani.
Hapa kuna wisdom kweli.
Ulinikosea sana kuletea jemedari pombe hapa.
Lakini si huyu ni mtu mkubwa.
Ama twende tuipe na wewe, twende Mexico.
Hizo vitu zenye unatumia siku hizi.
Tulisikia maombi yenu. Saa hii na maelezo ya kwamba KBC Channel 1 imeandaa Road Somurua. I'm telling you, it is coming to you.
Sisi tuko kwa mliango yako. Kwanza acha nikule kikombe ya chai.
Hata nimeta. Watu wa vipivi na watu wa vioja tuko mtaani na tutaonana mimi na wewe ana kwa ana.
Mama yangu, alafu nikalipishe na mkate, au sio?
You requested and the KBC has decided to deliver. What do I say?
Twaja na kuambiaje, kila mtaa utatuona. Hebu kosa uchekwe.
Welcome back. Now, the National Assembly Broadcast and Library Committee wants the government to formulate a policy that will compel government institutions to advertise with the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, KBC, to make the state broadcaster more competitive. The committee is at the same time asking the government to give additional resources to the corporation to enable it acquire state-of-the-art equipment for quality broadcasting. Wycliffe Okech has the details.
On Friday, members of the National Assembly Committee for Broadcast and Library separately visited the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation's installations in Kisumu and Mombasa to ascertain the corporation's capacity to host Bunge TV, an initiative that will enable the National Senate and County Assemblies to broadcast live proceedings. In Kisumu, the team was led by the committee's Vice Chairperson, Jerusha Momanyi, with members expressing satisfaction with the corporation's outreach.
Our people have got the right to information, and good information, right information, relevant information, adequate and reliable information. And I think that cannot be overemphasized. KBC is the only broadcasting corporation which has got network that can reach people of Kenya from wherever they are, whether they are in whether they are in Kuria land, whether they are in Teso land, and wherever else.
This is one of the broadcasting media houses that Kenya needs most, which has the best facilities.
The two teams commended KBC for its Studio Mashinani program, an arrangement that offers music production services for the local talent.
What a beautiful idea. There are a lot of our mushrooming, very disadvantaged young people financially who have got vast of talents, and this is a beautiful thing to make them also access. And with that, allow me to announce to the young artists in Migori County, there is recording here for free, as long as you can maybe get fare to bring you here.
The committee was however concerned over the national broadcaster's ability to meet its constitutional obligations in the face of stiff competition.
In the Bill of Rights, all Kenyans have a right to information. So the question we are asking as parliamentarians, which kind of information is being channeled or broadcasted out there? It's only KBC that will give us that kind of balanced information, and therefore a need for us to channel resources to empower KBC so that it can be competitive enough.
KBC is a sleeping giant. If it's given an opportunity properly and proper funding put in, I think it can also be able to get that level of BBC.
The members appealed to the government to formulate a policy to compel all its institutions to do business with the state broadcaster for the purposes of increasing its competitiveness and visibility.
I think that should be the policies that should also be calculated in the manner in which KBC is being run, because you find government institutions advertising with private institutions as opposed to a government institution which is KBC.
And being an electioneering period, the legislators asked their counterparts to be tolerant and preach peace.
We want our people to know that Kenya that we have is only one. This is our country. We should all be patriots. And as a patriot, wherever you see and hear anything which is going to destroy our country, be alert.
I am saying it is good to call for peace, but I think it is high time we need to practice the peace so that we don't provide avenue for unnecessary abuse of conflict and things like that.
For Easy Friday, I am Wycliffe Okech.
Now, the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation has taken its premier content closer to the audience in a roadshow aimed at thanking viewers for their continued support. On Friday, the KBC caravan snaked into several parts of the capital city where viewers interacted with some of their beloved stars. Zainab Said travelled in the caravan and filed the following report. Take a look.
Such were the scenes at Shauri Moyo in Nairobi, residents coming out in large numbers to meet and also connect with their favorite television and radio presenters. The crew reminding the residents to keep it KBC.
Tuko na logo mpya na haikuja yake, ilikuja na mambo mengine mazuri. Tuko na vipindi vingine vingi ambavyo ni vipya, vingine ambavyo vilikuwa kitambo kama vioja na vitimbi ambavyo vilikuwa kitambo miaka 10 iliyopita.
KBC has in recent months gone back to basics and improved on its programming to keep viewers entertained and educated through quality content.
Napenda ile ya vioja mahakamani na mama kayai ile ya nini ya vitimbi. Nimekuwa nikiwatch since 2005 mpaka leo bado naifurahia, huwa inanichekesha kwa sana.
Kisa Radio KBC kuna kina Tangarege alafu na Johnny na watch nini TV. Kama merusha station movies za vitimbi na vioja. Tungeomba watu wote DJ Afro pia.
Na muendelee watu wa vitimbi vionja mahakamani, muendelee hivyo.
The return of Vioja Mahakamani and Vitimbi has also seen fans reconnect with their beloved characters such as Mama Kayai, Alphonse Makoha and Ondiek Nyukakwota.
Umesema ilikuwa pima ya Uchola. Ya Uchola sio? Kwa hivyo ya Uchola si yako. Ya Uchola. Lakini ulichukua ndugu yangu. Why? Lakini si yako.
The roadshow was used to remind Kenyans on the need for peaceful elections. The caravan Kariobangi, Kayole, Dandora, Mwiki, Kasarani and Githurai. On Saturday, the crew will be in Kangemi, Kawangware, Dagoretti, Kibra, Ngong, Kiserian and Rongai.
It was an eventful day as KBC crew toured different areas in Nairobi to reconnect with its listeners and viewers. Reporting for Prime Edition, I'm Zainab Said.
Now, different religions have different ways in inaugurating their places of worship. How do the Hindus officially open a newly constructed temple? That in this week's edition of our weekly feature segment, My Culture, with Jackie Wambiru. Take a look.
Friday evening at 7 p.m., Hindu worshippers converge at a constructed temple in Thika, Kiambu County. The worshippers have travelled from far and wide to witness the inauguration of this temple, BAPS Shri Swaminarayan Mandir at Mogumoini.
When you build a temple in your local village, in your local town, it increases the life of the town, of the village, for a very, very long time.
For 1 hour, it is song and prayers. On Saturday at 10 a.m., the Sadhguru, meaning as spiritual teacher, leads the worshippers in prayers at the temple ahead of its inauguration. The saffron robes worn by Sadhguru represent a pure, auspicious and simple life. It also bears the color of fire, which symbolizes the fire of renunciation. Women and men sit in separate sections in the temple.
This is to prevent corruption of the mind, to keep purity of the mind. This is in no way any form of discrimination against either men or women. Both are treated equally in the eyes of God.
They sit cross-legged on the floor in a position known as suksana or lotus as a sign of respect and humility as they perform rituals to cleanse the temple.
Unapoona tunakaa chini ni kwa sababu ya kuonyesha tunanyenyekea na hata ni mahali takatifu, so inahitaji tukae chini tukiwa karibu na Mungu.
They offer prayers known as yagna amidst fire, using rice, flowers, ghee as offerings because they are pure and a non-violent way of sacrifice. They then take a 2-hour break. The worshippers then commence a grand procession in the streets where the deity to be installed in the temple is placed on decorated chariots and taken round the town.
Grand procession, that's called the Nagar Yatra. And the reason why this Nagar Yatra, that is the grand procession, is conducted is because the deities which are going to be installed in the temple are taken out on beautifully decorated floats so that they can bless the city, they can bless the city of Thika, they can bless the residents, and they can bless the different businesses that are on the roadside.
On the chariot, a deity dubbed Murti is on board. This is aimed at blessing the town and business establishments to trigger their flourishing. The Sadhguru cruises in the procession in a classic. The men proceed ahead of the women, doing songs that vary from those by women.
These books are our scriptures, and we are trying to show that we respect them so much that they are on our head. This is the authority we follow, the scripture.
The festival culminates in the installation of Murti, the deity.
Spiritual, a lot of social activities happen under the guidance of the temple, doing local social activities, for example, tree plantations, for example, looking after the poor people, feeding the poor people, looking after the needy people. These are some of the social activities that happen under the tutelage, under the guidance of our guru, who actually has inspired this temple.
I've actually been waiting for this day when the Hindu culture would be highlighted in my culture. Very happy to know that, yes, we are represented as well. Thank you for that, Jackie. Now, moving on, the Kenyan political arena has this week been full of theatrics, giving netizens a fertile ground to express their imaginations on social media. Truly, there's never been a dull moment in Kenya, politically speaking, and the ride and road ahead seems more entertaining, according to netizens' forecast. And as Citizen Prefect Tess Mutai observes, since it's Friday a day to ease up the week's pressure, let's just sample some keyboard warriors' views online. That's in our weekly segment, Savage Netizens, the unforgiving keyboard warriors.
Well, it's like Kenyans can't literally help it but be savage. Let's see what keyboard warriors had to say this week.
The Nairobi Expressway was a few days opened to the motorists on trial basis, and virtually every vehicle scrambled to have a taste of the new skyscraper highway. Forester Nation Kenya posted this picture of cars at the expressway tolling station and captioned it, "Every Subaru lazima iwe na lady on the left." To which Kipkoech responded, "You are allowed to carry a cow if you don't want a human being as a co-driver, because Subaru ya Mambaru imekam na ime." Moving on, presidential running mate announcement and see who blinks first was the latest blockbuster as Kenya Kwanza and Azimio played Joker card and kept spectators and newsmen and women guessing. Kenya Kwanza nevertheless decided enough is enough, but it came at a cost. Journalists had to wait for more than 24 hours for the final announcement. Now, it was Azimio's turn to name the running mate among the candidates who were interviewed. Jaloka tweeted, "Breaking news. Raila unveils Martha Karua as his running mate. Nobody expected this, to be honest. We are all surprised. Or are we?" I'll go into details. Clearly, in this tweet is a picture of an animal too big and large to be hidden, but once revealed, of course, tongue in cheek, we all will be shocked. Wow. The naming of Martha Karua as the first female presidential running mate candidate has been met with optimism. Maingi wrote a Kamala moment in the horizon. However, for some who don't think choosing Karua is a good political strategy in Mount Kenya region in terms of vote, cheekily posted this picture. This maize cob iko tu na mahindi tatu. But one Kalonzo Musyoka was no show at the Azimio Running Mate announcement festival because he was somewhere unveiling his running mate. Mary tweeted, "And he has just been nominated by Raila, sijui chief of what." Kalonzo, Sunkuli will be my running mate. Kingsley's response, "Running to where?" According to meme lords, Kalonzo Musyoka amesema ni kuoga haraka haraka na kurudi soko. And are you working late? No need to panic on who's going to cook your dinner. Kenyans are making a meal out of Polycarp Igave's campaign technique. Morio, hii campaign zake ni moto, the guy is really on the ground. Mimlord wrote, "Amkeni kule, Igave ashapika, anataka kuosha vyombo kabla aende." This week's new vocabulary according to Kenyan Dictionary. Anyway, who are we to judge? Meaning, women and men. After gossiping and judging for hours.
Well, at least it's Friday. Time to unwind. Catch you next week on Savage Netizens. For Easy Friday, I am Teresa Mutai.
Uchaguzi utakuja, utaenda, utakuja tena na utaenda. Kenya itabaki milele. Together we can make peace win in our elections. Not as one class, but as one nation. This message is brought to you by the government of Kenya.
Banki imeconfirm pesa zimeingia. Congratulations Sam, gari ni lako sasa.
Shukran. Oi boss, si uniache insurance yako nitumie kabla nijipange.
We,
insurance ya gari haiwezi kuwa transferred kwa mtu mwingine. Sina habari na nikuulize, hii comprehensive insurance inakava vitu gani?
Comprehensive motor insurance inakava gari linapoharibika wakati wa ajali pamoja na uharibifu wa mali ya mtu mwingine, gari likiibiwa au likichomeka. Pia inakava passenger wa gari lako na passenger wa lile gari lingine kunapotokea ajali.
Nisahau mimi kama driver.
Dereva hakui covered na comprehensive insurance, ila anajitafutia personal accident cover.
Umenichanua. Rose, hata nishughulikie hiyo insurance, nitakujia gari kesho.
Okay, sawa.
Times changes, technologies grow, and so you need to be in the know.
We are looking into matters, technology and education.
We bring you tech news from all over the world.
Me, I understand science revolves around life.
Tech policies and programs, Take on Tech has your back. Coming to your screens every Saturday at 4:30 p.m. only on KBC Online. Join me, Stephanie Ayeta and Grace Gidaiga as we serve you with only the best tech updates the world over.
Well, I hope that you've had a great week. Let's now focus on the world of business. My name is Caroline Jenker. Now, Kenya is urging Rwanda to lift the ban on locally manufactured Indomie noodles. The Kenya Bureau of Standards says it has completed testing of Indomie noodles for exports and found them fit for human consumption. The standards body has also put on notice 2 bakers for failing to meet the safety standards set by the agency.
Banned Kenyan-made Indomie noodles after a contamination scare that originated from Egypt after chilies that are used to make the noodles were found to have high levels of aflatoxin. Kenya now says Indomie destined for the export markets are safe after numerous tests, and all ingredients used to make the noodles, including chili, have been sourced locally.
The Indomie that locally, and it's actually even exported to the regional markets, is locally produced by a company called Zalim Wazaran Kenya Limited.
KEBS is also investigating some bakers in the local market for flouting safety regulations.
Market surveillance does is they go out to all the retail outlets, they pick products and they test. And where the products are not complying, they are recalled, withdrawn from the shelves.
The standardization body has cleared 80% of maize flour brands it had banned after millers complied to the set standards. KEBS places millers compliance at 90%, attributing the success rate to increased border testing and surveillance.
We've also tightened our borders, the entry point, whereby raw materials from the neighboring countries like maize. It is being tested for aflatoxin contaminants.
This as Kenya joined the world in marking the World Meteorology Day, where manufacturers have been encouraged to make use of measurement facility at KBC to help them conform to the set standards.
So it's very important that those instruments are accurate so that you can be able to make accurate decisions. We talk about transparency in information.
Benson Rioba for Easy Friday.
Postal Corporation of Kenya has a agreement with Somaliland Postal Services to facilitate parcel delivery between the two entities. ICT Cabinet Secretary John Musheru says the partnership will explore cooperation in the areas of mutual interest in international mail processing and delivery, knowledge exchange and innovation solutions.
Under the new agreement, the two postal services have agreed to work together in processing of inbound, outbound and cross-border mail and parcels. The unions also agreed to jointly set up mail and parcel sorting centers at any place for the mutual benefit of the parties. The two parties have further pledged to respect international security standards interchange systems to facilitate the overall security of the international mail and parcel transport network. Speaking during the agreement signing, ICT Cabinet Secretary John Musheru has said the partnership will go a long way in cementing postal services integration in the region.
We are fully behind this and we support. Really, there are a lot of work we've been doing on the East African community. The East African community is now larger than Europe, even in terms of population. And so, neighbors, we can work together. There's no problem. Because I think it's just a matter of time we can integrate. But an exciting time for us, even as Posta, to know that we can partner and be able to grow the linkages to the rest of the world.
Somaliland Deputy Ambassador to Kenya Sharmake Gele has said the cooperation offers Somaliland a gateway not only to East African countries but the rest of the world.
This will be our door gates and entry gates for our international relations and our purpose and everything. We haven't been able to do that. So on behalf of millions of Somalians, I have seen this a great opportunity and a great gateway for them to connect internationally because the postal is the lifeline of everything.
Reporting for Easy Friday, I am Teresa Mutai.
Now, Kenya's electric car market continues to grow, with the number of electric vehicles expected to more than triple in the next 5 years. This has seen more investors continue to roll out infrastructure to support the growing electric vehicles market in Kenya. Experts say the lack of charging stations is still a major challenge in the local market, with less than 10 charging stations being located in Nairobi. However, investors are now eyeing major highways outside the capital, with the properties opening the fast charging port along the busy Nairobi-Nakuru highway.
Electric vehicles are slowly but surely taking over our roads. The International Energy Agency projects that 60% of global car sales will be powered electrically due to the growing number of manufacturers and the rising cost of fuel. China is leading the electric car market, while the United States is trailing in a distant second position. Kenya has the third biggest electric vehicle market in Africa, where South Africa and Nigeria the market leaders. There are an estimated 1,000 electric vehicles on the Kenyan roads, and the number is expected to reach 5,000 by 2025. Some of the companies driving the electric car revolution in Kenya are Basigo, Kiri Motors and Opibus. However, the lack of charging stations has been a major headache for electric car owners, with most charging ports concentrated in Nairobi. But this trend is now changing, albeit slowly. Doget Properties has set up the first Safari Center highway outside Nairobi, saying a small number of charging ports is a major bottleneck for the industry. The Nairobi-Nakuru Highway Base Center's electric charging point is the first outside Nairobi city, making it possible for electric vehicles to drive from Nairobi to Kisumu and back by charging each way as they travel. The development is coming at a time when Kenya Power and Kenya Electricity Generating Company KenGen are planning to roll out hundreds of charging ports in the country as part of their revenue diversification strategy. Dowgate Properties plans to construct more charging stations along the Nairobi Highway, Mombasa Highway and Langata Road. Hibak Said for Easy Friday.
Well, as we come to a close, cooking oil prices are likely to come down the next few weeks. You can find this story on our website at kbc.co.ke. That is it from me. My name is Carol Jenger. Have a good night. See you next week for more business news.
Do you have a news story to share with KBC? Get in touch swiftly on email news@kbc.co.ke or call 0723-892-654 or 0734-780-124.
They came, saw and scored their way to the DFB Pokal final. Valiant rivals SC Freiburg and RB Leipzig are a heartbeat away from lifting the ultimate trophy of which none has ever won. SC Freiburg are still hopeful of winning their first major title in club history. Meanwhile, RB Leipzig have reached 2 of the last 3 DFB Pokal finals, losing 3-0 to Bayern Munich in 2019 and 4-1 to Dortmund in 2021. It is therefore a moment of truth for these finalists.
So 5 from 6 this season, make that 6 from 7. 35 minutes gone, 3-0 Freiburg. This is history in the making.
As we reveal their identity, 2021-2022 DFB Pokal champion. Keep a close eye on this grandest match between SC Freiburg and RB Leipzig on Saturday, the 21st of May 2022 at 9 p.m. live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1. KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
All right, bringing to you the latest in the world of sports, where the last contingent to the recently concluded 24th edition of Deaf Olympics held in Caxias do Sul, Brazil, arrived back home today after the 2 weeks event. The team comprised a total of 42 players and officials. Team Kenya topped the table in Africa and 11th globally.
The last batch of Team Kenya that took part in the 24th Summer Deaf Olympics in Brazil arrived home today morning, 24 hours after the first batch arrived in the country. The last batch was that of the Kenya basketball team that missed out on the medal at the games, which ended on 15th of this month. Kenya collected a total of 24 medals at the games in Brazil, 5 gold, 7 silver and 12 bronze medals to finish 11 in the world and first in Africa. At the Deaf Olympics in Brazil, Kenya was represented in athletics, golf, handball, basketball and football.
I just want to thank the government for their support, especially during the local training camp. When we went to Brazil, there was no issues.
We do hope that Kenya is going to host other championships, because in Brazil that was a big Deaf Olympics, but we see we can host very many events in future. Those are our plans.
Looking forward to having more games and tournaments for the deaf, so that they get used to the competition and the challenges from the pressure they get in hard games.
We hope that going forward we will have structures that will improve our team so that we gain more experience to compete with the rest.
The team collected 8 more medals than the last edition of the Deaf Olympics held in Turkey in 2017, where they only managed a total of 16 medals. Nora Mwangi for Easy Friday.
Moving on, the Kenya national rugby sevens team began their Toulouse leg of the HSBC Sevens World Series on a losing note after being thrashed 25 by
And Josh Grubauer is another one of those young guns, 21 years young.
And the Olympia Stadium in Berlin will play host to the DFB Pokal final on Saturday evening as Freiburg and RB Leipzig lock horns for a chance to clinch domestic silverware. Freiburg will be competing in their first ever German Cup final in their 118-year history, while Leipzig are taking part in the competition for the third time. In the last 4 years, the DFB Pokal final will be live on. All right, welcome back to the show. This is Easy Friday. My name is Shiksha Arora. Remember, you can always find me on social media. The hashtag is Easy Friday at Shiksha Arora on Twitter. Send me those messages. We've got BV Accurate. If you don't know a little about him, I think you need to stay right here and watch on until 10:30, because I'm going to be speaking to the guy about his journey in the industry when it comes to hip-hop, rap, when it comes to being a really cool MC. I think he needs to introduce himself.
Hey, yo, Nairobi, what's up, man? Call me BV Accurate. I'm happy to be on the show. Yeah, we out here.
We out here.
We out here.
Trying to be as cool as him. Like, let me ask you a question. Where did the name BV Accurate come from? It's a very interesting name, firstly.
Yes, so my government names are Ben Victor.
Okay.
You know, us laws, man,
Yeah.
2 English names. So Ben Victor, and then Accurate came off of being inspired by listening to Common and Logic.
Okay.
So I was like, Common is a rapper, he's a hip-hop rapper, and Logic is also a hip-hop rapper. So I was like, if these guys can name themselves, if someone can name himself Logic and someone can name himself Common, I might as well call myself Accurate.
Love that mentality. I mean, why not?
Yeah,
right?
why not? Yeah, why not?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I just saw a song of yours that was playing, Enjoyment.
Enjoyment.
Right before COVID.
Yes, before COVID. So
right before the enjoyment stopped.
Yes, we had to pause and be indoors, and there was a curfew. But yeah, so I did Enjoyment, I think 2 years ago. It was not the type of music that I was making. It was kind of like a risk. So, but it was a risk that paid off, you know what I'm saying? And one of my biggest songs up to date, and yeah, still playing in the clubs, so yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool song. I mean, what kind of music are you into? I mean, you said not the kind of music that you would do.
Yeah.
So what's your niche? What's your genre of music that you
My genre
like to
is hip-hop, and my genre is hip-hop. I've been rapping since 2014.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, fresh off of high school, rapping with the likes of Calligraph, Basco Buff, Timmy Blanco.
Drop me some bars right now.
As for me and my house, we spit bars on a regular. The field of my art, I talk like I'm Dracula. No wonder everybody else for my cellular digits, but I'll be making moves, switching up so spectacular mystery. See, wanna chill with. Yeah, let me leave it at that.
Okay,
Nice
I hear you. I hear you. Nice and easy. I felt it. The flow was smooth. It was flowing.
Yes.
Right. So why aren't you doing more of rap?
Okay, so yeah, man, the fans. Shout out to the fans. Every time I'm out in the club, they're like, "Yo, BV, when is the next music coming? When are you dropping?" So yeah, the MC money is good. Right?
It's
paying
sweet.
better than the music money.
I was just going to ask you that. Is it better than the music money?
It's better than the music. And shout out to Hustle Sasa. The last project that I dropped was last year. It's called Usuzime Debe. I dropped it in October, and I put it up on Hustle Sasa, a platform where you can you can sell your music, you can sell clothes, you can sell stuff. Shout out to Hustle Sasa. I remember I started selling my music off of Hustle Sasa. I put my price point on 1,000, and I remember in the first week I made like 30K, and I was like, what is going on?
Okay.
Imagine. You know, because and even just off of the confidence that I had putting out the project, That's why the price point was at 1,000. I've seen fellow artists probably putting their price points at 250, 200. My music is not 250.
Yeah.
1,000
You know your value.
Come on. Yeah, so like with the music, the last project I dropped was Usizime Debe, a 5-track EP. It had very notable producers. I had a producer who produced Nipsey Hussle's song, Grinding All My Life.
Okay.
He's Kenyan, he lives in California. He produced one of the songs there. There's a producer who produced Rema's song with A.G. Tracy. It's called K the Great. He's half Rwandese, half Kenyan. He did the song, the Rema song, he did it with Kelpie Vibes, some Nigerian producer called Kelpie Vibes. So that producer was also on my album. And shout out to Cize. Cize is a colleague of mine who I work with in the studio. So we worked on the album, put it out last year. Yeah, last year. So even I'm wondering, hey, guys asking me for music. Hey, consume Kwanza.
Imagine. It's been a
year. Yeah, but in terms of the MCing, hey, I've done all the big shows.
Actually, like I watched you at Rema just two weeks ago, and I loved the energy. I loved the vibe.
Thank you so
You know,
much.
you are up there with the likes of Kwambox, who's been in the industry for a long time. She's smashing it and she's doing her thing. And then you came on with like a fresh energy, and I really, really enjoyed it. Very refreshing. So do you enjoy emceeing more, or do you enjoy singing more and rapping more?
I can say I enjoy both of them.
Don't be diplomatic.
No, for real. Because you get to engage with the fans.
Okay.
When you're on stage, you're engaging them live.
Right.
When you're making music, they're consuming it in their bedrooms, in their workplaces. Like even right now, we were listening to Enjoyment in your workplace, and you were enjoying it. So you get to connect with the fans in different forms. And for me, like connecting with the fans is a blessing, and just being able to make people smile and jump to your songs, or being on stage and telling guys to put their hands up, and they're putting their hands up. 5,000 people putting their hands up. You're like, yeah.
This
So it's just the connection, So they're both in the same place. I enjoy doing both of them, and it's a blessing. So I'm humbled.
Okay, amazing, good. When you were in school, did you ever know that the arts is, where your heart is, or you went out there to do something totally unrelated?
Okay, so let me tell you, that's a very nice question.
Okay.
So primary school, I wanted to be a footballer because I still can kick a ball. I'm here with my sweatpants.
I can see.
I can still kick a ball. And then high school, first 2 years, I wanted to be a pilot. I'm over there acing my physics. You know what I'm saying? And then on the last quarter of high school, I'm like, oh, I got into the studio, made a song called Kilimani Buzz on the trope of KICC, which went viral. And we're rapping alongside the Calligraphs and the Abasco Buffs. That time Calligraph wasn't that big. Shout out to Calligraph. Abbas was there. Abasco Buff. Kariobangi South. And that's Walimani boys. Then these people are respecting us, you know. So that's how my passion for music started. And I never ever, imagine, believe it or not, this is my second year emceeing.
What? Only? Seems like you've been doing it for a while.
No, but it seems like I've been doing it for a while. I think back in the day it was just for fun. Shout out to DJ Case. This guy called DJ Case.
Of course I know DJ Case.
Yeah, shout out to Case. Case, I remember doing shows with him and Kiambu, Miga, Hakuna Matata back in the day. Him giving me the mic, Cream de la Cream giving me the mic. So I'm just like, and for me it was just, I'm on stage and I'm on the mic. And then it got serious. And I was like, oh, I can make money off of this.
Yeah, imagine.
And shout out to DNG. I don't know if you guys remember DNG.
Of course.
DNG was the best MC that Kenya ever had. But he moved into politics, and I was like, oh, you're now a politician. So there's a void.
So you just stepped in.
So I just stepped in, and I was like, yo, I'm the #1 MC, man. Yo, my name's BV Accurate, #1 MC in Kenya. What's up?
Yeah. I love it. I love the confidence. So, when you're on stage and, as you said, like telling 5,000 people, jump, 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 and they're actually listening to you. Like, does it give you that kind of power? Like, you feel powerful at that moment. Leave politics. You're powerful at that moment.
Yes. Like when I hold the mic like this, I'm in control. I'm the master of ceremony.
Right.
If I say go left,
they go left.
If I say, yo, DJ, switch off run that music back or turn off the music, this is the power.
This is the power.
Yeah.
So, you know, the funny thing is when he just came in and he started asking me all kinds of questions. Oh, how old are you? Have you been doing this for a long time? For a moment, I thought you were actually a journalist and I'm the one who's being interviewed.
Yeah. No, for me, I was just like, okay, if I'm having a conversation, I need to know who they are.
Yeah.
So that's why I was asking all those questions. Yeah.
For a second, I'm like, maybe he did journalism in school. What did you study in school? You still didn't tell me.
I did film and TV production.
Interesting. So that's what that was.
She studied microbiology.
Undergraduate.
And then she did journalism.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So you did film and TV production. Why, you wanted to become a director at some point? Or
I'm
producer?
a director.
You are?
I'm a director.
Okay.
Kojax, you'll play Jana Olichoma. I directed that video.
Right.
And like my Insta story, that's where I show my skills sometimes. Like my stories are not the same as other people's. You'll see effects, I don't know what. And yeah, I did film. I'm a certified film director.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I did in school. So for me, I did film. This will sound so bad, but I did film just as an avenue of making extra cash. Shout out to Eno Solik.
Side hustle.
Side hustle. Shout out to Eno Solik. I saw Eno Solik go from being a university student in University of Nairobi to one of the best video directors out there, you know? Buying his bands, I'm like, hey.
Okay.
You know, like, hey, this guy was studying business. Shout out to Seth God as well. Seth God did business and he's making money off of doing funny clips on...
Right. You know, it's interesting that you mentioned that because I feel like this industry that we're in, the creative industry, it's limitless. You can actually do anything. As you said, you can become a comedian and make money off of clips. You can go and become a video director and make money. You can become an MC and make money. You know, when you told your parents that, look, this is what I want to do, when you told your family,
shout to my granny
your
watching right now.
your granny, you actually mentioned that your granny is watching. That's so cool. So you know, when you told them and you broke the news to them that, look, this is what I want to do. I want to venture into music and MCing and hip hop and rap. How did they react? What was their reaction?
I feel like I'm fortunate enough to have people who are understanding.
Okay.
They were like, okay, you want to do that? Maybe you should go and do business. I'm like,
of course, they always did.
Like,
go business, go science, law.
But shout out to my family for being so supportive and listening to me, you know, because now they're seeing the fruits, you know? Yeah, now they're seeing the fruits, so yeah, I guess by God's grace, everything just worked out.
It worked out.
Yeah.
Okay. Any new plans? You know, you said that you're going to be hosting a few events later in the year. Are you excited for anything?
Yes. So
what's your goal? What's your goal in terms of your vision board, right?
Yeah, my vision board.
Where do you want to be in the next, like, let's say 2 years? I won't even ask 5.
2 years. Wow. 2 years.
Maybe a bucket list of things that you want to do, achieve, jump off a plane, fill up a stadium, MC for 20,000 people.
I would love to. It's very good you fill up a stadium. I felt like Rema should have been done in a stadium.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of people.
If the organizers are watching.
Shout out to Baraza. Baraza, if the next gig I know you're going to do a big one, you told me. So let's go to Nyayo Stadium or Kasarani.
Why not?
Yeah, let's do it, man. Because if it's a very big artist coming, we can definitely fill a stadium.
Absolutely.
With enough security and things done properly. So vision board, next 2 years, what do you want to do? Maybe be a brand ambassador for one of these EABL brands.
Okay.
Because some of us partake in our free time.
Yes.
What else? I want to shoot videos for artists.
Okay.
I want to get that artist money.
Okay.
I'll be director.
You're going to direct the videos.
Yeah.
Nice.
Get that money. That's in 2 years' time. What else do I want to do? I want to cement myself as a corporate MC as well.
Do you want to do corporate MCing?
Sorry?
Really? You want to do corporate MCing?
Why not? There's money.
Okay.
Chase the money. Shout out Chris Kira for giving me a green light. Carter as well. Yeah, I want to get into corporate MCing as well. I think I can MC a wedding. I've never done that, but I think I could do a pretty good job.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what I want to venture into. In terms of music, I want to... I've done hip hop, I've done R&B, but I have I think one of the biggest R&B songs. Not the biggest. Shout out to Soul and Viri, those are my friends. But it's somewhere there with 500,000 views. And it was a collab, imagine.
What's the name of the song?
It's called Come Closer.
Okay.
Shout out to you if you've heard Come Closer. We're gonna play it to you after
Okay. Cole Jacks will do the thing.
Yeah. So what else? The last thing. What am I leaving out? I want to keep fit. I want to keep God in my life. I want to have healthy relationships, not toxic ones. I want to, just want to be the best version of myself.
I like that. Yeah. Be the best version of yourself.
Yeah.
Do you know, it's nice to know that at your age and like with all the things that you're doing, you're still connected to God, number one. You want to have a healthy relationship with God.
Yes.
And number two, you also mentioned that you want to have healthy relationships.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Do you ever come to the point where you're like, man, that ex was toxic. Let's write a song about her.
Yeah, I've done that. I've written songs. Wow.
Really?
Oh man, I've written songs.
Okay.
I had a whole album, EP called Pathways to the Heart.
After heartbreak.
After a heartbreak.
Wow.
Damn. But it's growth, and the other day I was actually listening to that album and I was like, oh, this guy wrote an album.
Who is this guy?
This guy wrote an album off of a heartbreak. But it's life, and we have to embrace heartbreaks. We have to embrace new people getting into our lives.
Yes.
New opportunities. Venturing into things that you want to venture. I think at the end of the day, if someone is happy and someone is content with what they're doing, I think that's then they're at peace. Peace.
Yeah. As we wrap up, any message that you have for young artists who are trying to get into MCing, who don't know where to go, which doors to knock, how to get opportunities, to like just basically get into that MCing space. How do they do that?
Kama mnataka kukuwa number 1 MC ama mnataka kuwa number 1 artist, number 1 muombe Mwenyezi Mungu, hiyo ni ya kwanza. Ya pili, usisare, don't give up. Hata ikiwa ngumu aje, don't give up. Just look for opportunities. Hautaikosa njia, I say.
Right.
That's all I can say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. I really enjoyed this conversation. We have to listen to your song, by the way.
Yes.
So Cole Jacks is going to play
Please
next.
play me Jana Ulichoma.
Jana, okay.
I directed Jana Ulichoma. That's how I look on the TV.
That's how you look.
My fans,
Maybe you can give out your Instagram handles and YouTube page so that guys can follow you, watch your music, listen to your music.
Yes. On Instagram, BV Accurate. The first 3 people that follow me right now, I'll follow them back.
Hey, what's up? I like that.
Yeah, so Instagram, BV Accurate, Twitter, BV Accurate, Snapchat. Kama mko na Snapchat, wadau. Kama mko na Snapchat, follow me on Snapchat, BV Accurate. YouTube, my YouTube page is BV Accurate, number one MC in Kenya. I'm so happy that I'm here on Easy Friday. Shout out to Kojax for calling me in the morning. I was so vexed. I was like, hey, unanipigia asubuhi. But I'll come because it's you. Kojax is my colleague. We worked before, so I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you.
In the presence of a lovely lady interviewing me. So yeah, Auto KBC, keep it locked, keep it Easy Friday, BV Accurate. I'm out. Bless.
Asante sana. Thank you so much, Cole Jacks. Over to you.
That was fun.
Hey.
Cole Jacks.
Maisha lazima kasonge. Maisha lazima kasonge. Yo, maisha lazima iende. Maisha lazima iendele. But jana ulichoma. Maze jana ulichoma. Maze jana ulichoma. Maze jana ulichoma.